She's so lucky. Gauff's heartfelt words. And gift Ben Shelton Moo fans and groom alike. The sky over Key Biscayne was painted in a golden haze as the sun began to sink behind the palm trees. The ocean shimmered in shades of peach and blue, and the gentle wind carried with it the faint rhythm of a string quartet, warming up for the evening. It was a day everyone had been waiting for. Ben Shelton's wedding, the tennis prodigy, known for his fearless serves and lightning-fast energy, was marrying Amelia Brooks, his longtime sweetheart and fellow athlete. The guest list read, like a who's of the tennis world: Naomi, Osaka, Frances Tiafoe, Jess Pagula, and even Rafael Nadal had sent a recorded video message of congratulations. But there was one seat at the front that everyone kept glancing toward, a seat marked reserved for CG. Coco Gauff's name alone could stir emotions in any crowd. The reigning U.S. Open champion, global icon, and a friend of Ben since their early teens. They had trained together, lost together, and celebrated each other's victories. Rumor had it that she would send something special, and knowing Coco, special could mean anything. The missing guest. As guests arrived, Ben couldn't help but check his phone. No new messages. No call from Coco. Still no word. Amelia asked, adjusting his booting ear with a teasing grin. She said she'd try to make it, he replied, smiling faintly. But she's in Monaco this week. Exhibition. Charity match. Probably hard to fly across the world in time. Amelia touched his cheek gently. If she doesn't make it, she's here in spirit. You two have always had that connection. He nodded. Yeah, she's like family. And it was true. Their friendship had been one of pure sibling-like energy. They teased, competed, encouraged, and occasionally argue about music or sneakers. But beneath the humor, there had always been a deep mutual respect. Coco admired Ben's calm confidence, his groundedness. Ben admired Coco's fire, her determination, and her kindness that never seemed to dim despite fame. So as a string quartet began playing softly in the distance and guests took their seats, Ben couldn't help but wish she were there. The unexpected arrival. Just before the ceremony began, the event planner walked briskly toward Ben, holding a cream-colored box tied with a blue ribbon. This just arrived by courier, she said, breathless. It says, to open after the vows. Ben blinked. From who? The planner smiled. CG. He didn't need to guess twice. He placed the box carefully on the reception table and turned toward the aisle as the music shifted. Amelia was walking toward him, glowing like a dream. For a moment, all thoughts of gifts, messages, and tennis drifted away. The ceremony unfolded beautifully. Vows whispered, promises made, hands trembling in the evening sun. And yet somewhere in the back of his mind, Ben knew Coco had found a way to be part of it. The box, after the ceremony, as guests mingled and photographers snapped away, Ben finally took a moment to open Coco's box. Inside was a small silver pendant in the shape of a tennis ball cradled by angel wings. On the back, engraved in delicate cursive, were 3 simple words. She's so lucky. Beneath the pendant lay a folded handwritten letter. The first line made Ben's breath catch. I wish I could have been there, but maybe it's better this way because I probably cried too hard to clap properly. He smiled, shaking his head as he read on. Ben, you've been one of my favorite people in tennis, not because of the titles, but because you've always been you. Unshaken, funny, and so full of heart. Watching you find your person, it hits different. Amelia's lucky, but then, again, so are you. I've watched you both grow from a story of two ambitious athletes into something truly rare. Peace, the kind that doesn't fade after the cameras are gone. People always say, love is a match made in heaven. But I think it's more like a 5-set thriller. Tough, beautiful, worth every fight. So here's my message to you both. She's so lucky because she found someone who knows that the Real win is an A trophy. It's the heart that stays steady through every storm. Congratulations, my friend. And remember, when the dance floor opens, play Beyonce's Love on top. You owe me that one. Coco Redheart. Ben set the letter down slowly. His eyes glistened under the soft glow of fairy lights. He whispered almost to himself, "She's so lucky, huh?" The speech that broke the internet. When it was time for speeches, Ben took the mic. The crowd was loud and merry, glasses clinking and laughter bubbling. But as he began to speak, the energy shifted, softened, focused. "I didn't think I'd get emotional tonight," he began, his voice catching slightly. But someone made sure that wouldn't happen. He reached into his pocket and pulled out the pendant, holding it up for everyone to see. "This," he said, "came from a friend who couldn't be here. Someone who's always reminded me that life's not just about the scoreboard." He unfolded Coco's note and read a few lines aloud. As he read the words, "She's so lucky because she found someone who knows a real win is a heart that stays steady through every storm." The audience fell silent. Even Amelia, standing beside him, wiped away a tear. And when he said her name, Coco Gauff, a wave of applause filled the night across the ocean. Meanwhile, for 700 miles away in Monte Carlo, Coco Gauff sat in her hotel room, live streaming the wedding on her laptop. The charity gala she'd attended had just ended, and she was still in her gold evening dress, hair tied in a soft bun. When she saw Ben reading her letter to the crowd, she smiled and whispered, "Oh, he actually read it. Brave move." Shelley, her mother, peeked over her shoulder, watching the screen. "He's crying," she said softly. A decade late, 10 years later, the world of tennis had changed. New champions had risen. Technology had evolved. But one thing hadn't: the bond between Coco and Ben at an award gala honoring Coco for her humanitarian work. Ben and Amelia appeared on stage to present her the Spirit of the Game Award. Ben began his speech with familiar phrase. 10 years ago, Coco Gauff wrote me a letter that began a movement, not a competition, but a compassion. He turned to her with a grin. "Coco, you said she's so lucky. Well, tonight we're all lucky. Lucky to have witnessed your heart in action." The crowd rose in applause. Coco's eyes glistened as she accepted the award. "I don't even know what to say," she murmured, laughing softly through tears. "Except maybe I told you not to cry in public again, Ben." Everyone laughed. The words had outlasted trophies. As the night drew to a close, Coco stood on the balcony of the gala venue, looking out at the skyline. The air was filled with music and distant cheers. In her hand was a pendant, the same one she'd sent to Ben years ago. He had returned it to her that evening, engraved now with 2 new words on the back. "So am I, Coco," smiled, a tear rolling down her cheek. In a world built on scores and victories, she realized something timeless: that the most powerful moments weren't the ones etched on trophies, but the ones written from a heart. And so, the story of She's So Lucky lived on, not as gossip or headlines, but as a reminder: love and friendship, when rooted in gratitude, will always outshine gold. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share.